On an early summer morning, Sarah woke up in her grandmother Martha's house. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, filling the room with warm light. The girl stretched and smiled, looking forward to another day, visiting her beloved grandmother. Martha lived alone in a small house on the edge of the village, surrounded by dense forests. Sarah often came to visit her on weekends to help with the chores and just spend time together. Grandma was already elderly and had poor eyesight, but she still remained cheerful and optimistic. Descending to the kitchen, Sarah found her grandmother preparing breakfast. They settled comfortably at the table, enjoying delicious pancakes and a leisurely conversation. Suddenly, Sarah noticed some strange movement in the garden outside the window. It seemed like the neighbor's kitten, which sometimes visited them. Going outside to pet the little Fluffy, Sarah froze in surprise. On the lawn, awkwardly stumbling, walked not a kitten, but a real lynx cub. The girl could not believe her eyes. She cautiously approached the cub, who curiously looked at her with big amber eyes. When Sarah told her grandmother about it, Martha was very surprised because she had bought a beautiful kitten a few days ago to give her beloved granddaughter an unusual gift. It turned out that the local hunter Tom had deceived Grandma, taking advantage of her poor vision. The man had sold her a lynx cub instead of the promised kitten. Sarah was outraged by such a deed, but now they had to decide what to do with the cub. Nevertheless, Sarah liked the new pet so much that she persuaded her grandmother to keep him and name him Rocky. The next few days, Sarah and Martha devoted themselves to taking care of the cub. They fed the lynx, played with him, and gradually got him used to the house. The lynx turned out to be surprisingly affectionate and playful. He quickly became attached to his new owners, especially to kind Martha. Kate, Sarah's mother who lived in the city, was horrified to learn that a real lynx cub now lived at Martha's house. She tried to explain to Martha that keeping a wild animal at home was far from the best idea. Kate insisted that they send Rocky to a sanctuary or a wildlife rehabilitation center. But Martha would not hear of it. In the end, Kate gave in and even allowed Sarah to help her grandmother in raising and caring for the unusual pet. Sarah was happy. She just loved spending time with her beloved grandmother, especially now that Rocky had appeared in the house. Weeks went by, and Rocky grew quickly. His clumsiness was replaced by graceful strength. His soft fur became thicker, and his paws grew impressive claws. But despite all the changes, Rocky remained just as affectionate and obedient. Sarah and Martha arranged a separate room for him in the house and fenced off part of the garden so Rocky could walk outdoors. They tried to limit the lynx's contact with strangers, understanding that Rocky was not a pet. A year passed. Rocky turned into a handsome young lynx. His muscular body was covered with thick reddish-gray fur with characteristic black spots. His amber eyes looked intelligent and attentive. Despite his impressive size, Rocky remained gentle and obedient with his owners. Martha often thought about Rocky's future. She understood that sooner or later they would have to let the wild animal go free. But every time she saw her granddaughter's happy face playing with her beloved pet, she put off the conversation. Many funny and touching incidents happened with Rocky. Once, he accidentally knocked over a flower jar on himself and ran into the garden, leaving white footprints behind. Martha and Sarah laughed for a long time while washing the disgruntled and frightened Rocky in the bath. Another time, Rocky brought Martha a mouse he had caught, apparently trying to please her with a tasty treat. Grandma was so touched by this gesture that she couldn't scold the pet for the dirty bedspread. Rocky loved playing with the garden hose. He could chase the stream of water for hours, trying to catch it. Sarah used this game to keep Rocky moving more and not gaining extra weight from home life. When it rained outside, Rocky loved to sit on the windowsill and watch the raindrops trickle down the glass. His fascinated gaze and twitching tail showed his genuine interest in this natural phenomenon. One day, Martha accidentally locked herself in the pantry. Rocky heard her call and began to meow loudly, attracting Sarah's attention. Thanks to him, the girl quickly found and freed her grandmother. In winter, Rocky loved playing in the snow. He would jump into snowdrifts, burrow in the snow, and then jump out like a fluffy snow monster. Martha and Sarah couldn't get enough of this sight and laughed heartily, having fun with their beautiful pet. Rocky quickly learned how to open doors. Now they had to lock the fridge, otherwise the clever animal could get to the treats. Once, Sarah caught him eating an entire chicken, which he had skillfully pulled out of the freezer. Every day the bond between Rocky and his owners grew stronger. He seemed to feel their mood when Martha was sick. Rocky wouldn't leave her bed, quietly purring and warming her with his warmth. Despite his impressive size, Rocky remained very gentle. He learned to gently take treats from their hands, never using his claws during play with his owners. His favorite activity was lying on Martha's lap while she read a book in her favorite chair. The neighbors gradually got used to the unusual pet. Some even came specially to see Rocky. The children loved watching the majestic lynx play in the garden, chasing butterflies or rolling a large ball. Once, a fox attracted by the smell of the chicken coop wandered into the garden. Rocky immediately chased away the uninvited guest, protecting the territory and the livestock of his family. After this incident, the neighbors began to treat him with even more respect. Sarah started studying lynx behavior in the wild to better understand Rocky's needs. She tried to provide him with enough physical activity and a varied diet similar to his natural diet. Meanwhile, Martha knitted a warm vest for Rocky for the winter. Although the lynx did not need extra warmth, Grandma insisted on putting it on during particularly cold days. The sight of the majestic predator in a knitted vest brought a smile to everyone who saw him. Rocky showed amazing sensitivity to the emotional state of his owners. When Sarah got upset about problems at school, he brought her his favorite toy, as if trying to comfort her. With the arrival of spring, Rocky became especially active. He could watch the birds coming to the garden for hours, quietly sneaking up on them, but never trying to catch them. It seemed he understood that this was his home, not hunting grounds. One warm summer evening, Sarah was sitting on the porch, watching Rocky chase butterflies in the garden. Suddenly, she heard loud music and screeching brakes. A car pulled up to the house, and a group of impudent guys tumbled out. Sarah tensed. She recognized these boys local troublemakers who often caused trouble around the neighborhood. The girl got up and walked towards the gate, hoping to avoid a confrontation. However, the guys noticed the beautiful young girl and immediately started harassing Sarah, trying to drag her into the car. The girl resisted, but the troublemakers were much stronger. Sarah's heart pounded as the rough hands of the bullies gripped her wrists. She tried to scream, but fear choked her throat. The girl could smell alcohol on the attackers and realized that the situation was becoming more dangerous with every second. Out of the corner of her eye, Sarah noticed movement in the bushes. For a moment, she felt a surge of hope, but then terror gripped her. What if it was the bullies' friends coming to help them? At the moment when Sarah had already given up, expecting the worst, a loud roar was heard nearby, sending shivers down everyone's spine. Rocky jumped out of the bushes, his fur standing on end, and his eyes blazing with fury. The wild animal moved with a grace and speed Sarah had never seen before. His muscles rolled under his skin, and his claws left deep grooves in the ground. The lynx's eyes glowed with rage, making even the largest bully recoil. Rocky's roar seemed to shake the air. Sarah felt the grip on her hands loosen, and she took the opportunity to break free. She stumbled and fell, but immediately felt Rocky's warm body next to her. The lynx stood over her, protecting her, ready to attack anyone who dared to approach. The boys retreated from Sarah in fear. Rocky stood between the girl and the bullies, continuing to growl and bare his teeth. The troublemakers rushed to the car, stumbling and pushing each other. Within seconds, they were speeding away, leaving only a cloud of dust behind. When the dust from the departing car settled, Sarah was still trembling from the fear she had experienced. She hugged Rocky, burying her face in his soft fur, and felt her heartbeat gradually return to normal. At that moment, she realized that things would have ended very badly if not for her faithful friend. Sarah hugged Rocky tightly, thanking him for saving her. This incident strengthened the bond between the lynx and his owners even more. It showed that Rocky was not just a pet, but a real family member, ready to protect his loved ones in any danger. After this incident, the life of Martha, Sarah, and Rocky returned to its usual course. They continued to enjoy each other's company, sharing joys and worries together. The story of their unusual family became an example of how kindness and love can overcome any obstacles.